You do too much. You're not Superman, you know.
Hello there and welcome to Movie Trailer Rankings, where we take a closer look at the latest trailers on the internet, and sometimes, like today, we take a look back at some old classic movie trailers. And just like with modern trailers, we're going to look at them for style and content, and we're going to give them a score, and we're going to stick them on a leaderboard. And if you want to see new content like this on a regular basis, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell button to get notified when new content comes out. All right, let's get started. Today is January 9th, 2021, and we are going back 20 years to the Spider-Man that started it all, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trailer. Check the description below for timestamps if you want to skip around. Otherwise, just watch on through. Here we go.
Who am I? You sure you want to know? If somebody told you I was just your average ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied. Truth is, it wasn't always like this. There was a time when life was a lot less complicated. Can I take your picture for the school paper?
Sure. In this lab, we have 15 genetically enhanced super spiders.
There's 14. One's missing.
Peter, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Pete, look, you're changing. I know I went through exactly the same thing at your age.
No, not exactly.
Wow.
Peter, may I introduce my father, Norman Osborn?
Great honor to meet you, sir.
Harry tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
What the hell is that?
Whatever it is, somebody has to stop it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
This is my gift.
Wow.
It is my curse.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Do I get to say thank you this time?
You do too much. You're not Superman, you know.
All right, let's get into it. I'm excited about this one. I remember this trailer when it came out. I must have watched it 100 times. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. But we're not here to actually talk about the movie. We're here to talk about the trailer. And so if you want to know more about how we rank trailers, we made a video for that. You can check that out by clicking on the little link in the top right corner here and learn all about our system, how it is that we decide what kind of scores to give, and how we get that final ranking for the leaderboard. So check that out. So let's just jump right into some of the critical non-factors. And as with our previous classic rankings, nostalgia is a big thing. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of this, but I'm going to set that aside as we review this trailer. Try not to let our nostalgia for the film influence how it is that we look at this trailer. And then also content familiarity is also something, and we'll talk a little bit about this in a few minutes, but looking back at this trailer, I'm a little surprised at just how much of the movie they put in the trailer. But if you hadn't seen the movie, if you're not familiar with the content, you wouldn't know it. And so I think they did that successfully. But like I said, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then, much has been made about the design for the costume of the Green Goblin in this movie that it looks like a Power Ranger. And again, this is something that is a decision made by the filmmakers, not something that the trailer editors can decide on, but they have to include. And so if you like it, if you hate it, we're not going to hold that against or give them credit for that in the trailer. And so we'll set that aside as well. Okay, moving on to scoring. And man, this trailer really cooks. It's got very high marks across the board, as you can see. It nearly goes too far on the narrative side of things. It almost walks you through the first 2 acts of the film, but it really pulls up just in time before it reveals too much, and then delivers a heart-pounding montage of action. And this, I think, is a really good example of how a trailer actually has its own internal narrative structure, how it's trying to relate the movie to you, the story of the movie to you, but it also has to do that in a way that has a structure all its own. And so the way that they did that with this trailer was to kind of lay out the first 2 acts, introduce you to the characters, introduce you to the stakes, introduce you to the challenges and the villains and everything. But right before telling you what happens, they just say, hey, what we're going to show you here on out is just going to be all the action, and like I said earlier, you don't actually realize if if you hadn't seen the movie and this is the first time you've seen the trailer, you don't realize how much of the movie they're showing you, but you're getting pieces of it in a way that make you want to see more. And that's the goal of the trailer. And so they've done a great job of that here. And so I think it has a really good internal narrative to it. Not phenomenal, but is really good. And I think this is a good example of it. I think on a technical standpoint, really high marks. This is well-constructed trailer. Good edits. You follow everything that's going on. Nice use of sound. Great use of music. Terrific. I think the montage music at the end really gets you pumped up. I remember, like I said, watching this 20 years ago 100 times, probably because of how excited that last section of the trailer really made it for me. By the end, you really just can't wait to see more. And so super high marks on the impact here. Great marketing piece. And this was, at the time, superhero movies were not a given for success. In fact, it was a pretty mixed bag as to whether or not you could make a blockbuster film work with superhero material. And this movie really set the bar for that. This trailer really got people into the theaters for that. And so I think this score kind of bears out when you look back at actually what played out from a marketing standpoint, and just look around you. This now actually, as we look at Spider-Man No Way Home 20 years later, this movie's sort of been brought into the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe fold, and it's really where it all started. So it's nice to look back on it and sort of see what a success it was. So great marks all around here. We look at the final score for 2002's Spider-Man. We're going to give it a 9 out of 10. Way to go, Sam Raimi. And I think that's enough to put you up to the number 1 spot as we move into the leaderboards. And so I think that's going to do it for us today. Go ahead and click like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Be sure to leave us some comments below if you think we got it right or wrong, or have some opinions that you'd like us to hear about. See you next time.